Hey, what is up, y'all? RJ here with CV Tech, and today's video is going to be my first thoughts and opinion on the HTC One A9. Now, I was going to do a live stream of this and do a Q&A. However, my internet right now is just not strong enough, or it's having some issues, so I couldn't really connect to live streaming right now to allow you to come in and ask questions. However, I will try to do that in a day or two when I'm out and about and I have a much better internet connection. So anyway, this is the HTC One A9. This phone released, I got my little cheat sheet here from my other phone. Now this phone was released on November the 6th, 2015. Now some have said this phone is a flagship, and some have said it is a high-end mid-range. I don't know. To me, it feels premium. To me, it feels flagship. So I'm going to call it a flagship. You can call it what you want to call it. Mid-range, flagship, whatever. But I'm going to call it what it is. And what I think it is a little flagship phone that came out in late 2015. Because this is actually the most premium phone I've actually ever purchased. So I want to give you some of the specs here of this device and all that cool stuff. So, I got to throw the specs out at you because, maybe you want to know about it. I mean, I know it has been out for a while, it has been reviewed and all that cool stuff, but I want to give you my thoughts on it, and it may be a little long, but if you want to get a real first thoughts, and from what I have been using it since the other day, whatever day it was, then stay for the entire video, because it might help you out a little bit. Okay, now this phone here does run Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow. Now it is scheduled to get Nougat. I'm not sure when, but it is scheduled to get it, and honestly it should get it because it deserves it. Now it does have a fingerprint sensor reader right there, of course, which is really cool. Now for Boost Mobile, they have it in the it says here they have it in gray, gold, silver, and red. Of course, that's probably different carriers, but for Boost Mobile, they sell it in this opal white, which is a different color, kind of like a white, but a little bit of an off tinge white. It looks really good. Or like a dark gray one. I wanted the dark gray model, however, of course, the one you want, they never have in stock, so I went with this one right here. Now, this phone does have a nice 5-inch display at full 1080 by 1920 resolution at 440 pixels per inch. Now this is a AMOLED display, and the screen just looks really good on it. It's an AMOLED display. It's scratch resistant glass, has cornering Gorilla Glass 3. Now this phone does have a 13 megapixel camera on the rear with dual LED flash and an aperture of f2.0. This is a phenomenal camera. Here lately and in the near future, I will also be posting more sample photos on Instagram. If you want to follow me on there, it'll be down in the link down below in the description bar, as well as the front camera samples as well. I've already done some, so you can check them out as well. Camera tests will come here in the near future. It does have a sapphire crystal lens cover, optical image stabilization, a back illuminated sensor, raw image capture. It does have burst mode, HDR, effects, panorama, all that stuff that pretty much comes natural. It does record in full 1080p HD recording, front and rear at 30 frames per second. It has hyperlapse, video calling, and video sharing. And it does have a 4 ultra pixel camera in the front that is also f2.0, if I ain't mistaken. That's what I did read. And I gotta say, the front camera, even in low lighting, takes some fantastic shots. It's just really nice. I mean, like I say, I will be doing some sample photos for you so you can go in and check them out, because this thing takes some very, very quality photos, and I'm very impressed. Now this phone does run the 1.5 gigahertz octa-core Snapdragon 617 chipset. It does have an Adreno 405 GPU with 3 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, with around 24 gigs available to user once you get it set up. And it does support a SD card up to 2 terabyte. So yeah, 2 terabyte card ain't going to run out of memory no time soon. The weak link that I will make mention here on this phone is the battery. It is a 2150 milliamp hour non-user replaceable battery. It does say talk time of 16 hours in 3G and 18 days standby time in 3G. Now it does have DLNA and Miracast, and you can cast from your phone to a TV screen, all that cool stuff. It does have noise cancellations. It does run on, of course, LTE. Well, let me get on here and just look at the Sprint version. It does support bands 12, 5, 26, 4, 225, and band 41 for LTE. This does have a gyroscope, whatever you want to call it. Of course, a compass, says Bluetooth 4.1, and it does have NFC, and that's about all it really says here. There are different variants for GSM models. Some have lower RAM, some have the same RAM, some have lower storage, and all that cool stuff. So, what is my first initial thoughts into the HTC One A9? Now, like I may mention, this is probably the most premium built phone I've ever purchased. That is at least next to flagship status. With all aluminum uniframe, unibody, whatever it's called. This phone is light. It's got a little bit of heft to it, but not that bad. It's pretty thin. And it just feels really good in the hand. Front here, of course, is your sensors. You see my bird blinking. Your ear speaker here. Front-facing camera, of course, your 5-inch display. Your button here for your fingerprint sensor, of course. And your keys are on screen, so they're not on the body down here, which would have been nice to see a back and recents here beside the home button or the fingerprint sensor, but that ain't the way it worked out. On the bottom, you do have a bottom firing speaker, so that does put out some pretty loud sounds, which is really nice as well. Micro USB charging port, microphone, and standard headset jack here. On the right side, you do, of course, have your volume and power button, and power button does have a texture on it, so you do get, of course, that real nice texture, apart from the volume. On top, well, actually, it does have the iPhone look. It has its antenna band here, and this up top here, this little separate piece, they call it something like because it's a metal body, they call it something to actually improve reception. So, not really sure what that is all about. However, reception is kind of hit and miss. There's times it does really well, and there's times it does kind of, knock out a little bit. But, it's not that bad. I do live in a really back area, so yeah. On the back, of course, is your microphone for your camera, flash, HTC branding, and that is it. So, that is just taking you on the phone. Now, of course, I don't have any kind of screensaver, nothing, just a black background right now. And this thing is really smooth. I mean, it's fast, it's quick, there's blink feed, of course. And, I mean, this phone is just really snappy. I mean, whenever, I look at this phone right here and how snappy it really is, it kind of reminds me in a way of the LG X Power. And I would say, that this phone right here does seem to run smoother than, I know the X Power is a budget device on Boost Mobile, so it's kind of, not a fair comparison, but the processing power really kind of matches up with this one right here. So if you got an X Power, expect about the same kind of, snappiness. This one here does run a bit smoother. It does kind of open things up and does run really well. Now, like I say, I've had no issues with this phone since I've had it. The phone is near perfect, other than one major flaw, and I will get into that here in a minute. I'm a cameraman. So I mean, I'm a camera guy. I really love taking pictures, of scenery and just this and that and all that cool stuff. And if you are one to take selfie pictures, this phone is for you. This front camera is phenomenal. There's sometimes it looks too bright in low light, and of course it does have some grain. It's not the perfect camera. In low light situations, you're going to experience some noise from the rear camera and the front camera. That's just expected out of most cell phone cameras. I mean, if you want a camera that's perfect, you're going to have to go out here and buy you $1,000 DSLR or something like that. That's going to take really stellar shots, not from a cell phone. Now the phone does heat up. It does not stay cool if you're playing games. If you're on the phone for a while, stuff like that, you will feel the back of this thing warm up. That's just the way it is. It's just going to heat up. It does get warm to the touch sometimes, but not overly hot. It's just kind of enough to kind of, let you know it's there. I'm not really sure about any kind of quick charge. I know that the charger that came with said 1.5 amps. And I know that the X-Power, which has got Quick Charge 2.0, charger says 1.8 amps. So it may be Quick Charge 1 or Quick Charge 2. I really don't know I'm not sure about that. But call quality is really good. I made a phone call a minute ago using the ear speaker. Call quality is stellar. No issues whatsoever. Speakerphone sounds good. Doing the first thoughts and kind of doing a video like this here, looking at me while I'm showing the phone instead of on the table here, which that will be coming up as well, and more of a full review after about a week or two, something like that, or about a week from now. But just showing you here, I mean, you can just look at it, I mean, and just tell, that this, of course, the front camera that right now that I'm using just really doesn't do it justice. It really don't do it justice at all. But the screen is very vibrant. Right now, I have AMOLED turned off, hoping to save a little bit of battery life. And I do want to get into that right now, which is the weakest link of the HTC One A9, and that is battery life. With this octa-core 617, which is a battery drainer in my opinion, on top of having 3 gigabytes of RAM, not really sure if it really matters on battery life or not, plus having a AMOLED full 1080 display, only a 2150 milliamp hour battery that cannot be removed. Now, some will say it does not matter. Some will say, that you can, do this and do that. And if you have this phone right here, and you're out somewhere, and you're going to be out for a while, you better have a power bank. You better have a car charger or something, because you're going to definitely need it. My first charge, I picked this phone up just this past Friday, and I gave it a nice full charge Friday night, overnight into Saturday. I took it off charge. I charged it, I think, 2.5 times just that day alone. That was just setting everything up. And since I have had this phone, I have charged it a grand total from Saturday until today. Today is Tuesday. I have charged it about 7 times, from like 5% to 100%. 7 to 8 times I have given it full charges. Now that is with one charge got around 14 hours, but only like 3 hours of screen on time. If you play a game for like 30 minutes, I'm just going to round it off 30. If you have a full charge at 100%, and you get on a game and play it for 30 minutes, when you get off of that game, you're going to be looking at about 60% battery life. Something like that. Maybe 70, depending on how graphic intense the game is. The phone just does not last. If you use Snapchat, it will not last. It will drain the battery dramatically. If you use Facebook, any social media, it will drain the battery. If you are using Periscope or any kind of live streaming app, it will drain the battery significantly. Coming from the X-Power to this phone right here, going 2 days on a charge close to it on the X-Power, and not even getting 12 hours. of light to moderate usage with like 2 or 3 hours screen on time is bad for this phone. But if you have a power bank that you can carry with you, it is micro USB, so it's not a big deal. Got a really nice power bank. You know, you should be able to charge it twice if you got like a 4,000 or 5,000 milliamp hour. You know, charge it twice if you need to. If you're going somewhere, have a nice car charger for it. Shouldn't be a big deal, but if you're somebody who does not want to constantly have to worry about hearing the low battery chime and all that stuff all the time, then, you know, you may want to skip out on it. But that is the only thing that I can say negative about this phone. It does have power saving mode. I'll go in here and show you. You can go down here to power. Actually, not power. Yeah, right there. You got power saving mode, and you have extreme power saving mode. All that does right there is kind of lower the screen quality down, stuff like that. The extreme power saving mode, when you push that, it says turning on extreme power saving mode extends battery life by turning off data connection when the screen is off, only allowing essential apps to run, plus many other things. So while in EPS mode, many Android functions are unavailable, including the ability to remote lock, wipe, or locate your device. To use these functions, exit EPS mode. So that right there will pretty much just kill anything that's on the phone. You know, right now, as of right now, the battery, I'm not sure if I gave it a full charge or not. I can't really go by this here because I did not actually give it a really nice full charge before, you know, I've done this video here, so I can't really comment right now on battery life. But that's really the only negative thing that I can say. I mean, the phone feels premium. Over here on this side here, I've got to mention is the bottom one is your SIM card slot, and the top one is your SD card slot right there. So, you know, got your little SIM removal tool there and all that stuff. The back, of course, is all a unibody design. It can't be removed. The back can't be removed, nothing like that. The screen looks and feels really good. Like I said, the fingerprint scanner is really quick. It's very snappy. I mean, it's just really snappy. So, I mean, all in all, my first thought, I know it's 17 minutes long. I do apologize it's this long. But all in all, I'm very satisfied with this phone. It's really nothing majorly better. I mean, yeah, I mean, I have like the Galaxy J7, which is also a great phone. You know, and the prices, you can get this phone right now through shop sale deals and like on eBay and places like that for like $149 right now, which is a stellar, killer deal, a steal of a deal. Honestly, I mean, I paid right around that myself for mine. And for what you're getting, and for the processor, power, and the RAM and the ROM, all that stuff, the fantastic, phenomenal front and rear cameras, if that's really if that's your thing, and just having a fingerprint sensor and a full 1080p display, and a bottom firing speaker instead of a rear speaker. That's just, I hate a rear speaker on a phone. But that's just really my first thoughts on this phone. I do apologize it was so long, but I want to give you my real honest first thoughts on the HTC One A9. If this was helpful in any way, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button to show me you did. I really appreciate it. Any questions or comments, leave it down in the comment section below. I will try doing a Q&A live stream in a few days on this device, so you can ask questions there as well. So with all that being said, if you're not a subscriber yet, please do so. But that subscriber button down below, I would greatly appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all in the next video.